Welcome back to the Top Notch Documentaries YouTube channel. This video is going to be me reading some more Israel Keyes encounters. If you want to read the full documents, then just click the link in the description. A lot of the content has either been removed or hidden. The names are nearly all removed, with many of the locations also hidden. In this video, I shall be referring to the hidden names as blank. Some of these paint an ominous picture of Keyes because they showcase how easy it is for a serial killer to hide in plain sight. Having read some of the documents, it's clear that many are not related to him. However, these ones appear genuine, much like those I read in the previous encounters video. As always, I hope you enjoy the video, and I greatly appreciate the continued support of my Israel Keyes content. Thanks for watching. The first incident comes from a woman in Johnstown, New York. This is her encounter story. Blank volunteers at the St. John's Episcopal Church in Johnstown, New York. Every Sunday from 12 to 1 p.m, the church operates a program called Needy or Alone and Hungry, Noah. Noah provides a free meal to anyone who comes to the church at the above specified time, with no questions asked in regards to their socio-economic status. The operation is staffed by teams of church members that cook and operate the kitchen for one Sunday every 14 weeks. Blank said that on Friday, December 28, 2012, she was on Facebook and observed a post on the page Fulton County Living made by NY Johnstown. The post showed a picture of Israel Keyes with long hair wearing a jacket. Blank stated that she recognised the photo of Keyes as someone she had served multiple times in the past whilst volunteering at Noah. On Sunday, December 30th, 2012, the Fulton County Living page had a link to a New York Post article discussing the Keyes case. Both the article and recognition of this picture prompted Blank to contact the New York State Police. Blank stated that she remembered serving a male subject that she believed to be Israel Keyes approximately 3 to 4 times. Blank said that the last incident was when she volunteered at Noah on August 28, 2011. She remembered that it was a warm time of the year, that there may have been up to 3 more interactions with the subject prior to that date. The subject was described as being very polite and that he spoke with an unknown accent. Blank said that he was decently dressed, clean shaven, that he offered to serve and clean up after himself. She could remember the table that he would sit at in the church, but not the other types of people he would sit with. He usually came in closer to 1 p.m. and was not seen conversing at or socialising with any particular other people. Blank could not remember any further details about the subject's personality, description, actions or conversations. The second encounter comes from a person close to Keyes. Their name is also hidden. This person was interviewed in Edmonds, Washington after Keyes' death. Blank was shown a copy of a photograph of the anchor located within Keyes' Bayliner boat. Blank had no specific information on when Keyes would have made these types of anchors, and noted that Keyes had an electronic tumbler, so it would have been very easy for him to pour these cement anchors. Blank had no memory of Keyes taking any solo trips with the boat, or driving it over to the east side of Washington state. Blank further stated that one of the reasons why Keyes had purchased a larger pickup using Ford's F-100 was to make it easier for pulling the trailer up to Alaska. The F-100 was purchased by Keyes just months prior to his move up there. Keyes also drove a black-coloured quarter-ton Nissan pickup, which had front-end damage from hitting a deer. Keyes also drove a white-coloured late 80s to early 90s GM sedan. Besides Lake Ozette, Blank recalled Keys once talking about taking Blank out fishing on Beaver Lake. Blank assumes that Keys likely boated on Crescent Lake, but had no specific information regarding Keys actually being out there. Blank was asked if he recalled what kind of knives Keys owned. Blank could only recall that Keys carried a Leatherman wave tool like he did. Blank was shown some catalogue photographs of various models of cold steel brand knives. Blank pointed out the Voyager series with the 5-inch Tanto style blade and stated that he, Blank, owned one like that. Blank did not know when or from where Keys got the Ivor Johnson 22 pistol that he later left with Blank. Blank believed that it did not function very well and assumed that Keys had always had it. Blank also knew Keys to have owned a Ruger 1022 rifle and a 30-30 caliber rifle. Blank did not know Keys to have any holsters. Blank was asked if he knew what Keys may have purchased from Centurion Tactical. Blank did not know, but stated that he, Blank, had purchased 2 tactical style hip holsters from Centurion. Blank had no information on where Keys may have hidden his caches in the Port Angeles area. Blank recalled that Keys talked, in general, about his knowledge of caches and survival stuff. Blank believes that Keys had learned this from his family. Blank stated that Keys was in charge of trail maintenance on the reservation and would have had easy access to those areas. Blank could not recall any specific trips that Keys had taken out of the area. Blank did recall that Keys would tell him that he and Blank were heading over to the east side of the state for wine tasting tours. Blank also recalled that after Blank left for Alaska and after Blank's wife left, Keys and Blank would take trips down to the Tacoma area using the rideshare program. Blank was asked what he knew about Keys' involvement with pipe bombs and other explosives. Blank stated that playing around with that stuff was common out on the reservation because no one was around to know about it. Blank stated that he knew that Keys played around with the powder-based explosives, but to his knowledge, Keys did not play around with the ampho-based explosives. Blank had no direct knowledge of Keys attempting to breach Forest Service gates or other structures with explosives. Blank did note that if Keys wanted to do that, the reservation would have been a target-rich environment. Blank was asked about his knowledge of Keys' involvement in any bank robberies. Blank stated that Keys talked about how easy it would be to rob a bank, because the bank employees were trained to comply with the robber. Blank also recalled Keys commenting that bank robbers did not even need a weapon to pull off a robbery. Just a note. Blank recalled bumping into Keys once on the Kingston-Edmonds ferry. They grabbed a beer and talked during the trip. Keys told Blank that he'd been out to sea. Blank was heading back to the airport so he could fly back to Anchorage. Blank assumes that Keys had a rental car because he was on his way to the airport afterwards. Blank believes that this occurred during the summer or fall of 2008. The final encounter comes from another woman in New York. Blank stated that sometime in 1998 she was shopping at a Marshall's clothing store in Albany, New York. Blank said that the store was closing. She was one of the last people to leave. Blank claims that her car was located in a dark area of the parking lot, and while she was placing items into her car, she was approached by a younger man who looked to be in his late teens to early 20s. Blank stated that at first, the man just stared at her and watched her placing items into her vehicle, but she felt it was odd that he was standing near her in the middle of an empty parking lot, and that he looked very tense. Blank claims that after a few minutes of minutes of watching her, the man asked, "How old are you?" Blank replied, "How old do you think I am?" Blank said at the time she was in her 40s, and she had replied in an agitated voice because she felt it was a rude question. Blank claims that the man seemed to relax, and he turned and walked away. Blank claims that this man that approached her looked identical to Keys, with short hair. Blank stated that after watching the videos on the FBI.gov website, she recognised his voice, and that she is certain that the younger man was Keys. In a follow-up call, the woman recounted her story that she had originally told on the tip line. Blank stated that she lives in Albany, New York, and is an attorney for the State Department of Health. She remembered the incident she called about as an out of the ordinary and being strange. She believes it occurred in 1997, 1998, or 1999. There was no snow on the ground. One evening, Blank went to the strip mall to go to the store Marshall's. She parked further away from the store, closer to a road. She left the store around 9 or 10 p.m, and it was dark outside. Blank had purchased a larger picture at the store and was placing it in her car when she noticed a male on the other side of her car staring at her. He was wearing a thin, described as dorky, cotton shirt. He looked like the character Beaker from the Muppets. The unknown male did not say anything at first, but then asked how old she was. Blank cannot remember exactly what she said, but remembers it being a snide remark. The male looked like he was in his 20s and had short, wavy hair. Blank did not notice how the male got there or how he left. She just got in her vehicle as quickly as possible and left. Blank saw excerpts of the interviews of Israel Keys, and they upset her because Keys was so familiar to her. She googled his name, and it looked like the guy that approached her in the parking lot. His mannerisms reminded her of the man as well. Those were just a few of the many encounters that people have potentially had with Israel Keys over the years. What are your thoughts? Comment below. As always, thanks for watching.